Hey, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III here with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I want to talk to you today about getting in the game. Getting in the game. It's kind of a phrase I've used a bunch of times here, but I want to ask you, are you a player in the game of life or are you a spectator? Or do you think you're a player, but you're really a spectator? So many people are sitting on the sidelines right now. They're waiting for things to come together. They're waiting for things to happen. They're waiting for life, and they're waiting and waiting. And this is the time of year you need to be getting in the game. You need to be part of life. I really want to talk to you about whatever you're doing, whether it's your job, your career, your business, your relationships, whether it's your passion, your side hustle. Find a way to get yourself to start taking action and stop sitting on the sidelines waiting for the environment, circumstances, and things to come together for you. You need to stop waiting. And a lot of people let their vision of the future consume their thoughts, but it keeps them from actually creating action. Other people, they're living with regrets. They're so focused on the things they didn't do or they didn't have or the circumstances and environment they have that they don't take action. The bottom line is, I always say, don't let your vision of the future rob you from the present. But you also have to learn to suffocate regrets. You have to get rid of regrets, and the best way to do that is to get in the game of life and start producing. So, why do you want to be in the game? Why do you want to play at a level 10? Most people are thinking to themselves, I don't know, man, there's so many risks and things. Look, if you want to enjoy life, you got to be part of life. You've got to have a perspective and a filter that you are a player in the game. You've got to write your own script. You've got to call your own plays. You want to live without regret, then you've got to start taking action in your life. So how do you do this? So how are you going to get in the game and start executing on your vision? Number one, I always say this, you got to pick a side. Stop sitting on the sidelines, watching everything going on around. Pick a side. Stop waiting. Stop wondering when you should do things, how you should do things. No one's going to play the game for you. Nobody's going to create your life. But make no mistake, whether you're creating your life or whether you're doing nothing, your life is being created. So you've got to pick a side and get started. Second, you got to identify your position. Learn your unique talent. Learn what skills you're great at. Learn how you're going to play the game. So many of us are wandering around doing things we're incompetent at or things that we might be competent at, but we're not passionate and excited about. Learn what your unique talent is. Your unique talent is something that you're passionate and awesome at. And, if you don't know what that is, then you got to start moving and getting things going and learn to master your skills. A lot of us get by with things that we're good at, we're great at, but we don't really spend time mastering those skills. And in order to play your position in life the best, you've got to master your skills. Then I want you to third, stop watching the scoreboard. I think that's one thing I've struggled with, a lot of people struggle with. Of course, you need to know the score. You got to keep track of where you are, but you got to learn to love execution. Learn to love executing in the moment and performing on each and every play, each and every day, and not getting caught up in how much progress you've made. See, that's the person that's worried about the destination more than the journey. When you can learn to love the journey, when you can learn to love executing, it's like the definition of failure, right? Failure is not failure ever if you actually love the process. The process is just uncovering ways things don't get you there and continuing to move forward. So you've got to stop watching the scoreboard and you've got to start loving and learning to execute. Fourth, I want you to practice. Here's the thing. Everybody wants to win the games, but nobody wants to practice. You've got to be able to put in the reps. You've got to be willing to do hard work and muscle up and do things when you don't feel like doing it. Get home from work and do things that are going to take you further towards your goal. Look, everybody gets tired. Everybody doesn't want to get up in the morning. Nobody wants to do things when they don't feel like it. But you got to act in spite of your mood. You got to be willing to outwork your opponents. You got to be willing to be, like Dwayne Johnson says, the hardest worker in the room. And that's when you're going to win the game. That's when you're going to win the game because your efforts are going to exceed expectations. I don't care if it's your career, your business, your relationship, your parenting. Exceed expectations. Be willing to put in the work. Practice, practice, practice. That's the stuff that's going to get you further in life. And you know what? At the end of the day, you're going to be so much more fulfilled when you know you were willing to put in the reps, when you were willing to do things that other people weren't willing to do, when you were willing to act in spite of your mood, when you didn't feel like doing things. And the last thing is, remember, and this is a big one, yesterday's home runs don't win tomorrow's games. And yesterday's home runs don't win tomorrow's games. If you're that person that's constantly talking about your past wins and accolades, get off that. That's in the past. It's over with. It's not going to help you win tomorrow's games. You've got to be able to play every game like it's your last. You've got to play every game like that's the one that counts and live in the moment. I love that Stoic philosophy of reflecting on your mortality, because the bottom line is the future hasn't happened and it may not happen. And the past is over. So reflect on your mortality so that you can maximize the moment and maximize the day that you're in. And I think that's when you can begin to become the hero of your own story. Look, in order to be the hero of your story, there has to be bad things that happen. There has to be tragedies. There has to be environmental circumstances, or else there's not a hero. You've got to be that person that can overcome the challenges and go to the next level. Be the hero of your own story. Love being the underdog. So many people are so worried about all the circumstances they have that's what keeps them from getting in the game. Love being the underdog. The underdog is always the person that people like to root for. Be that Cinderella story. Because here's the bottom line. Jim Carrey said it at a commencement speech, and I've quoted it a few different times. You can fail at what you don't want, so you may as well take a chance on doing what you love. And what I wanted to share with you today at our midweek point, our midweek motivation, is that it's time for you to take action. That thing you've been putting off, that stuff that you've been pushing aside, that, I'm going to start the diet on Monday. I'm going to start working out next week. I'm waiting for the business things to come together. I don't have any time. All these excuses. Look, you can make excuses or you can make results, but you can't have both. You've got to be able to get in the game. And to do that, I think if you start reflecting on the fact that all you have in your life is right now, don't waste that moment. Get that moment, move forward with your life. I hope that you can do that, and I hope that you can share that energy with others, because then people in your life are they're gonna value you, and you're gonna value them. And so that's the message I wanted to share with you today. I hope you're having an amazing week, and I want to hear from you. So I'd love for you to hit me up on the Daily Mastermind on Facebook or Instagram. Also, by the way, go to the dailymastermind.com website. We've got some great new stuff there, content, giveaways. I do have the ability to do a few private sessions. If you want to rap with me for a little bit, give me some feedback, let me know what you're working on. I'd love to be able to give you some feedback or some strategy for your business, whatever it is. There's not a lot of holes in the schedule, but I'd love to be able to open one up for you. Go hit me up there. And that's the message for today. So have an amazing day. My name is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. I'll talk with you tomorrow.